this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do a sewn bind off. So a sewn bind off is, essentially as it sounds, it's a bind off where you use a yarn needle and sew the stitches off your needle. So here I have this sock I made. This is a toe-up sock, and I actually use the sewn bind off to cast off. And here's the cuff of my sock. I did 2x2 ribbing and then a sewn bind off, and the sewn bind off gave it a really nice, like, it lays very flat, which is the effect I wanted for the sock. And the sewn bind off, it has a bit of stretch, and it also keeps its shape. So this is a really great bind off for cuffs of not only socks, but cuffs of sweaters, maybe the hem of a sweater. It's great for a lot of things, and it's really simple to do. And this is how it finishes the knitting. It's kind of got these little bit of twists to it, and you can kind of see the sewn effect of some of these stitches. So I'm going to show you how to do it. You're going to need your yarn needle or your tapestry needle, and here's my work. So I actually have this sample, and half of the sample is in stockinette and half the sample is in 1x1 rib, just so you can really see how the sewn bind off looks with both of these finishes. So the first step is to cut your yarn. So you want to cut approximately what you think you're going to need. I would recommend like twice as much as the work itself. Like here's 1, 2, twice that, and then like a little bit extra, just because I'm paranoid that I'm going to run out when I do bind offs like this. I'm going to cut about that much, and now I'm ready to bind off. So I'm going to thread my yarn needle, pick up my work, and here how the bind off works. So it works the same whether you're binding off in stockinette or 1x1 rib or 2x2 rib. This is what you do. You insert your yarn needle into the first 2 stitches as if to purl them, so in the front of them. You pull your yarn through. Now you're going to insert your needle into the first stitch as if to knit it. Slide that stitch off, and you've bound off 1 stitch. And that's what you repeat all the way across until you're out of stitches. You go into 2 stitches as if to purl. You go into 1 stitch as if to knit. It's kind of like an abbreviated Kitchener stitch. So 2 stitches as if to purl, 1 stitch as if to knit, and slide that 1 stitch off. 2 stitches as if to purl, 1 stitch as if to knit, slide that off. And you want to watch your tension, because how tight you pull those stitches through will determine how tight your bind off is. So I'm kind of doing it very loosely, and this is very loose fabric. So I can make it a little tighter by pulling. You know, make it too tight and you'll get a tighter bind off, your work will cinch. I find this a very quick bind off. It gives a pretty nice finish for how easy it is. 2 as if to purl, 1 as if to knit, slide that off. 2 as if to purl, 1 as if to knit, slide it off. The last stitch, I just like to go through it as if to knit, just in case. And we're all bound off. And we're all bound off. It's a close-up of the edge. Kind of gives this nice twilled effect for the stockinette. And the ribbing kind of makes it look a little bit different. It's really nice. It's got some stretch, but I do find it keeps the overall shape of your fabric really nicely. And that's how to do the sewn bind off.